Hi guys and welcome back to the channel. Today I've got two replays in the Tier 8 Premium German Tank Destroyer, the Jagdtiger 88. Now this is a tank that you can currently get in the current Season Pass at level 75 if you have bought the 2000 Gold Season Pass. And it's got preferential matchmaking. It's a pretty decent tank destroyer, right? The problem with it is it's a bit old. It's a bit old and it's not that gold, and that's because it has one main strength, and that is the gun. The gun is absolutely phenomenal. The DPM, or the reload I should say, really is absolutely incredible. You can reload the gun in 4 seconds at 3.7 if you boost your reload with food, which means you can permatrack pretty much everything. But the problem is it's old. It is an old tank. The armour, the superstructure itself holds up really well. The superstructure bounces a lot of shots, but the upper plate tends to get penned a lot by tanks that have at least 230 pen, which a lot of tanks do at tier 8, unfortunately, for this tank. But it did get buffed fairly recently, and that was in the engine power. It went from 700 engine power to 870, which gives it 12.49 horsepower per ton, which is obviously better than it used to be, because that is one problem it used to have all the time, and that was the fact that it was just so damn slow. It was really slow. The armour barely ever held up. You just had DPM and that was it, and it was kind of painful. As well as that, your track traverse was worse. And I mean, that is something that got buffed a wee while ago as well, is the track traverse. So it used to be really slow. It couldn't traverse very quickly. The only thing it had was DPM. It was painful. These days it's more mobile, which is definitely nice. It helps it get to places. It can still bounce shots off the upper plate here and there if you know what you're facing, like in a matchup like this. But against its own tier, it does struggle. But that's where the preferential matchmaking is quite nice, because at least you don't have to see tier 10 tanks in this vehicle, which is great. And that is always a very nice thing. Pref tanks are great. And yeah, you can be aggressive, use the DPM if you know what you're facing. But like I say, the problem is, yeah, the armour can struggle. Like I say, it's just an old premium tank. But if you can use it right, you can have a lot of good usage out of it. And you're getting it for free, essentially, right? Because you're only paying 2,000 gold. You get to level 75, you get this tank. And if you complete the Season Pass, you get 2,000 gold back anyway. So, yeah, it is what it is. In terms of a crew that I run on this tank, well, on this tank, I run Born Leader, Rapid Reload, Sixth Sense, Track Mechanic, Steady Aim, Clutch Braking, Off-Road Driving, and Run and Gun. I run Run and Gun and Steady Aim to make the gun better. Obviously, Steady Aim, you always want to make your tank 10% more accurate. Run and Gun, now, obviously, Run and Gun is something you could trade out for a different perk, maybe General Mechanic and that, to make it so that you put tracks back on really quickly, because you are a turretless tank destroyer. But I run and Gun for the exact reason that you saw me do down the 8 line a minute ago. And that is that if I want, because of how slow the tank was, right? If I want to get to a position and I want to get across an open field, but this tank's to shoot in front of me, I'll keep moving because the gun's already accurate. I can use Run and Gun, make my tank more accurate while I'm moving, and hit more shots. And I do take a lot of shots just like that one you've just seen there, where I was on the move into a position, I got myself into the position, but while I was still moving, I took the shot at the tank. Unfortunately, we missed, but 10% more accurate is always, well, on the move is always useful for that sort of thing. And that's why I take Run and Gun. And in terms of the track traverse, it's something that you want to help, which is why I run Clutch Braking. But, as well as that, in terms of my equipment, I run rammer, optics, and vents. Now, the vents will make your tank better with its reload. The optics makes your view range even better, as well as, obviously, the vents generally make everything on the tank better. And then the rammer, obviously, because, well, making the DPM of this tank an even bigger strength than it already is kind of a very important thing. Now, you could drop the vents and run the traction system. Now, the reason I say the traction system is because with the traction system and with off-road driving as well, paired together, you can hit the 41 km/h top speed that it will give you. But that's not the reason I take it, and that's not the reason I wanted to take it when I played a few games with it with the traction system on, and it's mainly because of the track traverse. I actually ran it because obviously it gives you, like, I think it's 10% better track traverse, something like that, and that is something that was pretty, well, it's not pretty, it's very nice to have on this tank, because it can be, in a lot of situations, very slow to traverse its tracks and turn round, and when you've got pesky little light tanks that love to get behind you and get round you, that can be a right pain, and it's just, you know, it's something that you might consider taking. So, in this game on Fisherman's Bay, we've managed to do 1700 assistance with 3.5k damage, and we just got another kill, which is really nice. Up to 3.5k damage, there's only 2 tanks left, we know where they are, they're on the 1 line, so we're going to go chasing after them. And it's been a pretty nice game for the Jag-88 with top tier, which is quite usual for preferential matchmaking tanks. I don't know about you, but when I play preferential matchmaking tanks, more often than not, unless I'm in platoons, more often than not, you top tier, which is the benefit of the preferential tanks, right? You take one, you go, well, I'm going to be top tier most of the time. That's the reason you take it. When you're getting sick of being slapped about at tier 8 against tier 10s all the time, you just take a preferential matchmaking tank out, have a fun time, off you go. And we finished that game with the victory. 4 kills, 3.5k damage, 1700 assistance, the ace tanker, the high caliber, 1850 base XP. A nice game in the Jag-88, which is a tank that, like I say, you can get for free in the season pass. And it's not a tank that I could recommend really that you buy, but to get for free is not too bad. There is a big problem with this tank. That's actually, I say, a big problem for this tank. It's a big problem for German tanks in general, really, in this game. And that is when they get shot through the front, the engine goes, and that just makes it painful. It just tends to get damaged all the time as soon as you shot through the upper plate. And like I say, generally it takes about 230 pen-ish to go through it, and they will go through it fairly reliably all the time. It's really annoying. And obviously, like, when you face tier 9s, like as in this game, and they're starting to pack 260 pen, yeah, your armour has no chance. The only chance you have is to hide that upper plate and get hull down, and then all they can see is your superstructure. Then they might struggle to pen you, which is, you know, what you want. So this second game, we're on cliff, and we're going to push up to the middle area. Now, I get spotted there, and I think, maybe it's the light tank that I just spotted that's just about to charge up there and I just didn't see it. No, I really got spotted from the E3 position and nothing had moved up there. But I want to get to this little ridge in front of me over here because then I can get hull down against anything that might be crossing the H line to get round the cliff. And that's what I want to do. So what I'm going to do is get over here and see if we can start putting shots in. But before I get there, this Brass gets spotted and it's like, hello, Mr. Brass. Well, I got one tracking shot into you. I'll get another one in. Is he? Yeah, he did repair it. That's the strength of the tank. Locking down other tanks. It's fairly similar to the Tortoise in that way. Once you track someone, unless they've got a repair kit, they are not getting away from you. So, track them. Track, track, track. Trackity, trackity, track. Track them all. That way you're getting good damage. You're locking your opponent in place. You're always going to farm most of their health, no doubt, sorry. And as well as that, if other people shoot them, you're getting the assist, which is pretty damn nice. So we're in a little bit of an awkward situation. We know there's tanks on the F3-4 position. We know there's tanks just in front of us the other way, and then this Barasciolo is in. We've not got more, well, I say we've not got much in. We've got 2 heavy tanks, a medium tank, and a tank destroyer, and it's like, help me, please, there's a Barask. And this is where the pain is, right? This turretless tank destroyer pain. That Barask got up alongside us. There wasn't too much we could do about it. But like I said, we're in an awkward position because of the fact that there's tanks down here where there's Tiger, or is it Tiger A18, the Skoda A18, whatever it is. The new auto-loading Jagdtiger. There's tanks down where he is. There's the light tank behind us at F6. There's the heavy tank at G78, who is likely to come after us. Yeah, we're in an awkward position. We make a bit of a mistake because we come up on top of this ridge line, which gives the A18 perfect shots at our lower plate. He fires so damn fast, but so do we. Now we're in the ideal position. We get hull down against these guys. They're probably going to struggle to pen us. The Bear absolutely has no chance of penning us here, which is perfect because we're fully hull down. He's not got shots at our lower plate. We've got shots at him. So we go for the drive wheel shot, but unfortunately end up missing it. I thought he was going to pull back a little bit quicker than he was, but he must have, well, I think he crashed into this Tiger A18. But he drives back out in front of us, so we get another shot into him there. We're up to 2.5k damage with 2.2 blocked. And yeah, the engine's damaged. Like I say, you take shots through the lower plate, you take shots through the upper plate. You're losing your engine. We're having to swivel here because there's an M46 pattern. Fortunately enough, the M46 is actually stock, although it is firing premium, so he managed to pen us really easily. Again, awkward situation. Luckily, we've got a heavy tank behind us that the enemy team are deciding to take out. We go for the drive wheel of the M46. Unfortunately, again, he's still got his repair kit, so he gets away. We get another shot into that M46 as drive wheel, but unfortunately doesn't take it off this time because we don't quite have the alpha to do it. And we're just waiting for them to poke out. So I decide, well, there's this dead wreck now behind me, so what's the best thing for me to do? Well, maneuver the dead wreck so that I can use it to my advantage, because we've got to get all the help we can get, because they're going to poke round again in a minute to try and get shots on me, because there's 4 of us left, right? It's going to happen. So we maneuver this guy into a great position for us, and it should keep our flank as well protected as it can be. This Tiger A18 comes out, gets a little bit overconfident in his reload, doesn't realise that the Jag-88 is a machine gun of an 88mm, and we do manage to get a good amount of shots into it. We're up to 4.4k damage now that these pesky light tanks getting round us. This position now, we are screwed. We get a nice shot into the G-Saw again, set him on fire, get another one in, and we're just looking for the next shot at him, but unfortunately the EBR Hotchkiss managed to get a shot into us on the move. And it just really showed how good this tank is at racking up damage so damn fast. But we finished the game with 5.3k damage, 578 assisted, the ace tanker, the high caliber, 1203 base XP on a loss, which is really quite good. It was a decent game for a Jag-88. It's not the best tank in the universe, but you're getting it for free. So, as always, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
A great success!